So glad y'all are joining on Instagram. Hey, Gamal Alexander, Tamika S. Graham, Antonio Sepulveda. How you doing? Yes. Tone.com 230. Fifi to you too. So glad that you're here this morning. We're getting ready to rock and roll. Let's do it. Come on. Yeah. I'm excited, y'all. Here we go. Monday Mindset in about 30 seconds. Yes. Good morning to you too, Tamika S. Graham. Indy Jabble, good to see you this morning on LinkedIn. Fantastic. So glad that you're here this morning. Yes, we're about to do this thing and go live. Hey, y'all, here we go. When was the last time that you saw something amazing and unbelievable? When was the last time you saw someone phenomenal and fantastic? When was the last time that you saw a unicorn? I'm hoping it was the last time you looked in the mirror. Hey, do you believe that you're unique, or do you simply blend into the crowd? Do you sometimes try too hard to stand out or be seen, or have you embraced your natural unicorn superpower? Listen, there's greatness inside of you that you may not have yet unlocked. And this morning, we want to talk about how to uncover it, unlock it, and unleash it. Welcome to the Monday Mindset Movement Show, everyone. I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me. The Monday Mindset Show is 15 to 30 minutes of motivation, elevation, and inspiration designed to get you thinking, blinking, and rocking and rolling through your week. Thank you all for showing up today on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and even Twitch this morning. I'm so glad that you are here. Who's in the house? Yes, Fancy Select, thank you for joining us on Instagram. UG Woo, Tracy Osas. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, Chris Stone. Yes, this stream is a unicorn. DJ Malik Moore. What's happening? Theodore Scopus. So glad that y'all are here this morning. My goodness, we're about to rock and roll. Tone.com. I'm glad that you are here this morning. Hey, we're about to get jumping. We're about to get jumping. We're about to get jumping. Go.
Elevated, and accelerated. It's your time to jump out of your comfort zone and reach higher. It's time to get up and go. Grab your cup of grit and your daily dose of resilience. It's time for the Monday Mindset Movement with your host, Robert Kennedy III, RK3. It's time.
Come on. What? Yes, yes, yes. RK3. That's me. Welcome to the Monday Mindset Show, y'all. I hope y'all are having a good time already. I hope y'all vibing with me this morning and just ready to jump in and rock and roll. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let me make sure I got all my stuff set up. Let me make sure I have all my stuff set up. Woo, yes. My goodness. Let's get the music down. Welcome to the Monday Mindset Movement Show. This morning, we are getting ready to jump in, rock and roll, and do this doggone thing. Come on. Okay, hold on. 1 second. Oh, bam. Bam. That's where we want to be. Fantastic. All right, listen, y'all. I'm excited to be here this morning and chat with you about unicornism this morning. I don't know if y'all are ready for this. I don't know if y'all are ready for this unicornism this morning. How many of you are embracing your unicorn? How many of you are embracing your uniqueness? I want to talk about that a little bit more. Takesha Hanor, good to see you this morning. The other day, I was talking with a young man, and he shared that he was uncertain about life. right? He wasn't certain about what he wanted to do. He was working and he had a job, but he really wanted to do something in the space of music. But he was scared because he didn't know how to make money at it. And now he'd graduated college. He was in the workforce in some ways, and he needed money to live, right? Most of us need money to live. I don't know about you. If you need money to live, just type me in the chat, right? If you need money to live, go ahead and type me in the chat this morning, right? And so I was tempted to tell him, as he was sharing this with me, I was tempted to tell him, follow your dreams, young man. Yeah, that sounds so so old, right? But I also understood the feeling of being uncertain and needing to survive, right? But we're really not talking about dreams today. We're not talking about the feeling of needing to survive. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Well, let me tell you another story. The other day, my wife asked me, are you ever going to wear shoes again? Some of you are immediately thinking, dude, are you walking around barefoot? Well, let me give you some context. Let me give you some background for that. Well, when I'm out, I tend to wear suits because I like to look a certain way. Right? Now, suits were not always my go-to outfit. I used to think that they were a little bit complicated, or that they just weren't worth the trouble for me, or they weren't as comfortable as I particularly wanted to be. And so I didn't always wear suits. But as I got a little bit older, or let me say over time, it became less about the effort. It became less about the comfort. And it became more about the story that I wanted to tell when I was in public and in specific settings, right? And so I put more intention into what I was wearing. And in 2020, when the pandemic happened, my life kind of shifted a little bit, and I started to wear sneakers with my suits. And ever since then, I've been wearing sneakers with my suits. If you see me in public and you see me wearing a suit, look down at my feet. I'm probably wearing sneakers. I went to a formal event recently, and I was dressed. I had a black shirt and had a black tie. I had a tuxedo jacket. It was silver and had some bling in it. And I had on my feet some sneakers. Now, yes, sneakers are more comfortable for me than the hard bottom shoes, as we call them, or the church shoes, right? But for me, the story is not so much about the sneakers or the comfort. It's about one of slightly breaking the rules. You see, I was always expected to operate in a certain way, and I was always expected to conform. I'm a PK, I'm a pastor's kid, and I was always expected to do things in a certain way. So for me, at my big age, sneakers with my double-breasted suit represent standing out and yet breaking from the expected. Although more people are wearing right? Although more people are wearing sneakers with suits these days. Hey, Chris says, yeah, I saw that at NSA Influence. I can't rock that look. Listen, I'm going to wear it again, brother. You're going to see me. Hope I'll see you at Thrive. All right. So are we talking about suits and sneakers? Are we talking about people being scared to follow their dreams? What are we really talking about today? Really? Here's the deal. When we get confronted by that money issue, is it really about money, or is it that we are afraid of our unicorn? Are we afraid of what we'll look like in the process of chasing our dreams? We'll look uncertain. We'll look broke. We'll look unindependent. We'll look like we need help. We'll look like we're chasing something that may never happen. Right? We're afraid of what we will look like. We're afraid of embracing our authenticity, who we are in the process of chasing our dreams. And because we are nervous about how we will look to others, we shrink. Right? Back to my dress, back to my outfits. I wore shoes and proper dress clothes for a long time. And I was afraid to stand out because I was nervous about what people would say if I was bucking the system. Okay, you go to a funeral, you're supposed to wear black suits. What if Robert wore a gray suit, or even a white or a green suit, right? Would people say that he's bucking the system? Would people say that he's trying to draw attention to himself? I was concerned about all of those things, right? I was concerned about not having people say certain things about me because I was afraid of standing out. And see, a lot of times even though we watch social media and social media says, yeah, you can do these things and you can be unique and you can stand out, most of us are afraid of standing out. Most of us are afraid of standing out. We are afraid of our own uniqueness. We are afraid of looking different. We are afraid to stand in our own space. Hey, Nick Taliaferro, good to see you this morning. Hey, Saskali, good to see you this morning on YouTube. I was listening to a devotional meditation the other day. And shout out to Soul Space. For those of you that are you Christians, or you have a religious background and you want a meditation that really leans into that and allows you to still get that experience of meditation, Soul Space is a really good app to do that. Okay, SOUL space, Soul Space. So shout out to them. I was listening to this devotional meditation the other day, and it said in that devotion, caught my attention. It said, consider for a moment what makes you unique. Sometimes this is communicated to us as our twos. All right. Yeah, I want you to hear this. Sometimes our unicorns, sometimes our uniqueness is communicated to us as our twos. Not our twos, but our twos. TOOS, right? You're too much. You're too loud. You're too talkative. You're too shy. You're too smart. Yeah, that's a thing. I remember being in 7th grade or 8th grade in elementary school, middle school, elementary school, and sometimes I heard that phrase, you're too smart. Right? I'm not saying that to brag because it wasn't said to me in a positive way, or at least I didn't take it that way. It was said to me in a way that said, hey, you're too smart. You're too this. You're making the rest of us look bad. Why do you want the rest of us to look bad? It was said in a way like, come back to the rest of the crowd. Come back to the rest of us. Be average. Be regular. You're too this. Why is your homework always done? Why are you the first one to finish your tests? You think you're too smart. That was one of the twos that was given to me. So what makes you unique? What are your twos? You're too driven. Most of the people that I know who are extremely successful at something were told at some point about their twos. Right? They were too obsessed, or they were too much of a dreamer, or they were too something. They were too something, right? But what if your two was your talent to take you to 10? What if the thing that people say you're too much of is the talent that takes you to your 10? I don't know if you've ever come across somebody who was told that they were too talkative. I'm in the speaking industry, and there are a few speakers that I know who say that when they were in elementary or when they were young, people told them that they talked too much, or that they would go to school. The teachers would say to their parents, this child talks too much. They talk so much, right? And these people are told that they talk too much only to become successful orators, right? But what about the other people that were told that they talk too much only to shrink away from that talent and end up confused, uncertain, and living a life that they hate? Have you shrunken? Have you backed away from your two? This thing that people are telling you that you're too much of, or that you're too this, or you're too that. Oh, it's funny. When people tell us we are too this, we end up thinking that we're not something. When people tell us that we're too loud, you end up thinking that I'm not regular enough, or I'm not accepted enough. I'm not enough. We turn our twos into not enoughs. I'll say this again. What if your two was the talent to take you to 10? Right? Saskali, I love what Saskali says. Let me actually put this on the screen. He says, hurt people say hurtful things. Yeah, hurt people hurt people. I want you to think about that this morning. What is your two? What if you were to think about your life right now, if your two was a job or a business, what would it be? What do I mean by that? If you were told as a young child or as a young person that you were too loud or you're too talkative, okay, yeah. If I'm too talkative, what business could I turn that into? Even if you are like 50 years old, right? And you're thinking about the two that you were told when you were younger, can you turn that into something that works in your favor? Yeah. If you were told that you were too shy, if I were to think about a job or a business to turn my too shy into 10, what would that be? If I was told that I was too much, or I told that I was too creative, or I told that I was too out the box or too weird. If I were to think about a job or a business, what would I turn that two into? Even if you're 40, 50, 60 years old, right? Ask yourself this question, because I know you haven't forgotten that two that was put upon you. A lot of us think about the things that were said to us, that were thrust on us when we were young. We did certain things naturally. They just came to us. We didn't sit in our chair one day and say, you know what, I'm just going to talk a whole lot. There were things that just naturally came to us that we were good at. Oh, you asked too many questions. Okay. I got told as a kid, I asked too many questions, I should become a lawyer. Right? Well, maybe I might have been good at that. Right? What is your two that was thrust upon you? What is your two that you do naturally that you can turn into a 10? What is your two that you can utilize or you can leverage to be amazing at your job or your business? Or what is your two that you can turn into a job or a business? Right? Your two is unique to you. Sure, it might have the name of something familiar, but only you do your two in the way that you do. Yeah. Only you do your two in the way that you do. Right? And most of the challenge, most of the pain, most of the experiences that you've had, maybe most of the abuse that you've experienced can hide your two, but they can also be the tools to build your two. What's your two? What's your two? And most of us have more than one two. What if you could add your twos together? What could you do if you added your twos? How unique could you be? How much of a unicorn could you be? How much could you embrace this space? Judith Schneidman says, I was too smart. Yeah. People try to hide you, or people try to squash you, or people try to put you underneath a rock when they are blinded by your twos. When your two is so bright that it blinds them, they try to hide you. Right? There was a statement that I heard the other day that said, "Don't worry about certain people who seem uncomfortable around you because your spirit may irritate their demons." Yeah, 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 yeah. What's your two? What's your two? I could keep going this morning, but I want you to have a moment to think about your two. I want you to think about it. For those of you that are joining late, if you're not sure what I'm talking about when I'm talking about my two, replay, rewind, go back to the beginning, because I don't know if this is for you, but it's for me today. What is your two? What's my two? What is my two that I can use to become 10? I could keep going. What's my two, and how am I using it to make this week my most successful one yet? Hey, y'all. We're about to jump off of here. Yeah, our twos reveal their insecurities. I like that, Saskali. I'm about to jump over here. Listen, join me this week, Wednesday, for Story to Sales on LinkedIn Audio at 1:30. We're talking about turning sales into stories, the art of testimonials, okay? If you want to know when we're going live, text the word live to 240-557-8679. That's text the word live, LIVE, to 240-557-8679, and I will get you that link. I want to end today with a quote from Joyce Meyer's book, Authentically, Uniquely You. She says, "God is never going to help you be anyone but yourself." Hey, y'all, it's Monday, and we want to shift your mindset to a place of growth, but that doesn't just start and stop on Monday. We want to encourage you to take your Monday mindset into tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Be curious, make a choice, move, start a movement, be a movement. Join me next week, Monday, on the Monday Mindset Movement at 8 a.m. on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Until then, be amazing, my friends. I'll see you. Peace.